Let's discuss this graph and how to bring it to the pool table. This is a graph of throw angle versus English on a stun 30-degree medium shot. This is the amount of throw from 0 to 6 degrees and 0 to minus 6 degrees. This is English from negative 100 to 100. This would be inside English. This would be outside English. This would mean you would compensate your aim by aiming short this number of degrees or by aiming long this number of degrees. So the first pattern we'll look at is the pattern from 10% outside English to 70% outside English. That's 10% outside English to 70% outside English. On the cue ball, this would be 10% of outside English to 70% of outside English. This would be gearing English. This would be gearing English. From 10% outside spin to 70% outside spin. The throw goes from 4 degrees to minus 4 degrees. So moving the Q-tip here to here, you would have to compensate your aim almost 4 degrees here and almost minus 4 degrees here. On a pool table, it would look like this. If this is a 30-degree shot into the corner, and you are playing stun with gearing English, which is about 40% outside spin, you would aim directly for the center of the pocket. If, on the other hand, you were at stun at 10% English, you would aim here, which is about 4 degrees, to have the object ball go directly down the center. And if you were at stun at 70% outside, you would aim 4 degrees long to have the object ball go down the center. In 10% increments, it would look like this. This would be 10% inside, 20% inside, 30% inside, gearing English, 50% outside, 60% outside, 70% outside. The amount of throw is dependent on friction. The most friction from the cue ball to the object ball in stun occurs at about 10% outside English. After that, the spin is such that the friction decreases, and as the friction decreases, the amount of throw decreases. So that from 100% inside English to about 10% outside English, the compensation will increase. From negative 100% in 10% increments to 10% outside English, compensation increases. Again, throw is dependent on friction. The most friction occurs at 70% outside English. If you increase the English from 70% outside, the friction decreases, therefore the amount of throw decreases. From 70% outside spin to 100% outside spin, your compensation will decrease. From negative 100% or 100% inside English all the way to 100% outside English, the compensations would look like this.